Mickey, I don't think it comes as any surprise to be saying that the start to the Vitality Blast has been a disappointment. It's been a disappointment for yourself, it's been a disappointment for the players and for supporters. If you were to put your finger on a couple of points that have gone wrong, where would you start?
Well, first, let me say I never saw this coming because, I thought our red ball form has been outstanding. And that was something that we worked incredibly hard on. And I always thought that we had, and I still believe that we've got a white ball squad that is good enough to compete and beat anybody on its day. So I sit here unbelievably frustrated with the performances we have. I didn't see this coming. We haven't put a game together yet where we've played the all-round game. The games we've bowled well, we haven't batted well. The games we've batted well, we haven't bowled well. So as a coach, it's incredibly frustrating when you see the amount of talent we have and we're just not putting it together. You scratch your head. You think of our planning, you think of our strategizing, you think of your communication to the players, you think of the clarity around game plans. You analyze everything. And as I said to the players last night, we've got to now go and analyze everything, whether that's performance, whether that's skills, whether that's strategizing, whether that's the communication. We've got to find a way to get it to turn it around. But I've been here before and managed to get some success out of it.
Yeah, I suppose one of the big frustrations really in the Vitality Blast is once you begin the competition, there isn't a lot of time between games to really tweak too much. If things haven't clicked from the first game, it's not as simple as just changing things before the second game as it maybe is in Red Bull where you've got a little bit more time. So if you were to then outline the plan at the very start of the competition, what was that plan? What brand of cricket do you want to play? And then where has it gone wrong?
Yeah, good question. That the one thing you don't get in county cricket is time to prepare. I was nervous going into game one because I didn't think our preparation time leading into our white ball had been long enough. But that's not the case now because we've been playing it for a bit. There is quite a changeover of players. So you kind of go into the start of the competition with a very, very a very stable and very structured game plan, and you go in with what you think is arguably going to be your best team. Now, what happens is there's always these little curveballs that come and test you. Injuries. We probably haven't been able to put our best team out. Now, I think we've got a squad good enough to compete with that. So it's not an excuse. But what that does do is it tinkers slightly with roles. And when you tinker with slightly roles, suddenly the death bowler becomes your power play bowler. And instead of using Gazanfa through the middle to take wickets, we try and use him at the top to take wickets. So what it does do, it does structure the way you plan and the way you go about your game. Again, it just comes down for me to the fact that we haven't put the perfect game together yet. And when you haven't done that, and you get a couple of losses, suddenly there is a little bit of a confidence loss, and suddenly the balls that the batsman would hit confidently over the top, you go and hit half-heartedly, and you're out caught because you've got that little element of doubt. Now there's a lot of accountability, there's a lot of responsibility around us as a team because we're a very, very good side, and we just haven't shown that yet. So with that comes a lot of doubt, and you've got to keep stressing to the players they're good enough. You've got to keep stressing they believe in the game plans because the game plans are good enough. Our structure's good enough. Our talent's good enough. Our depth is good enough. And I've been kept on asking, what we need is one player to light up a game in terms of a performance. Everybody will follow through, and then you get on a bit of a roll. We haven't been able to achieve that there, and it is extremely disappointing and frustrating for everybody.
Yeah, and I suppose one of the key aspects to speak about is game management. Now, we've seen throughout the competition so far, losing wickets either in the power play or just outside of the power play has been a real problem. How much of that comes down to maybe the style of cricket tries to play, and how much of that then falls back onto the players as well in terms of managing the situations?
Oh, look, I'd never throw the players under the bus in terms of attitude, commitment, effort. They've got it all, and they're hurting. No. What I do question, and we've spoken about it within the confines of our dressing room, is decisions under pressure. We have had a fair amount of decisions under pressure that possibly haven't been the right ones. We've been 4 down in the power play too many times. We've just got ourselves just outside the power play, and I can think of 2 games where we outside the power play going well, and we've lost crucial wickets in over 7, just when we start to dominate. Now, what happens is over 7, field goes back, strong shots into the pockets, run hard for another 5 overs, and you earn the right to go again. And we've taken decisions that have been wrong. The players know that. We've highlighted them. We speak about them. I mean, we just don't sit in the dressing room and have a beer and think, oh, well, it'll be all right next time. We debrief our games to the nth degree after every game. There's personal information goes to every player, and we try and get it right. We live and breathe it, and it's 24/7. Certainly for myself, in terms of the communication with the players and what our expectations of them are. So there has been a lack of judgment. There's small margins in white ball cricket. I think some of those shots in over 7, they go out the ground, everybody's standing applauding and saying, wonderful. So it is fine margins. For me as coach, I've got to make sure that our decision making under pressure is spot on, and we have not got that right yet.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the biggest frustration for supporters will be that the red ball season has been so good, and we will talk a little bit more about red ball cricket soon, but one thing that we've seen a lot in red ball cricket this season has been that determination, that ability to get out of a hole. Now, you've got less time in T20 cricket, but there also maybe hasn't been enough of that streetwise cricket that we've seen in the red ball game, and I suppose how do you get that to translate now?
Well, we just got to keep believing and keep reinforcing our message. And, ultimately, the players go out there and they're the ones that have got to take those decisions on board. And they make those decisions. And for us as coaches, we've got to try and back the decisions that they make. And if they don't come off, we go back, we sit down, we analyse it, and we talk about it so that it doesn't happen again. Well, those are all the things that go on. I mean, there's an incredible amount of information. There's a incredible amount of energy and communication that goes into every game we play. So it is incredibly disappointing when you just don't get the results, and even more disappointing for everybody when I think we're a wonderful squad. I think our red ball cricket has been so good. And sometimes we all fall into that category of just thinking that our white ball cricket is going to be good. I mean, I remember this time last year, I've been scratching my head around red ball cricket, and yet our white ball cricket was decent. And it's just roles reversed. We work endlessly, we work tirelessly to get this 100% right. And as a coach, this is where you do your best work. It's easy when it's going well. This is where you do your best work in educating the players around their roles, around the responsibility that come with their roles, and around their ability to make very good decisions under pressure.
Yeah, and let's just talk about injuries for a second, because I know you would never want to use it as an excuse. No. But when you are down Harry Moore, you're down Zach Chappell, that's then meant that Nick Potts has maybe had to come in out of his comfort zone. Ben Aitchison, likewise. You've maybe not been able to pick Brooke Guest in the white ball team because you've had to fit another bowler in to ensure that overs can be fulfilled. When you go into a competition with that issue, and then within the first power play of the competition, you're a few wickets down as well, it must knock confidence, and it must really send plans into disarray almost.
Yeah, look, it does. No doubt. We haven't been able to put the team that when I sat in December and strategized and planned for an 11, we haven't put that 11 out once. Yeah. Now I back everybody in our squad though to be able to come in and do that. As I explained earlier in the interview though, what it does do is it tinkers with other people's roles. So, but our players are good enough. Our players are 100% good enough to adapt to that. What I've enjoyed seeing is the guys that probably weren't going to start getting opportunity, and we'll see more of that. Yeah. We're going to see a lot more of that as this competition unfolds, which is exciting. So I would never ever use injuries as an excuse. What I can say though is the 11 I'd planned on starting in December has not started once this competition, and that does throw it out just a little bit.
Yeah, and finally on the Vitality Blast, it's not over.
No,
it's been an immensely frustrating start for everybody. But in your first season, we won 6 of the last 7 games. There are 9 games left now. There's a huge weekend coming up and a game against Lancashire at the end of the week. T20 is a game that is purely based on momentum. There is still a chance to build some momentum.
T20, you've said it exactly right, Steve. T20 cricket is based around momentum. We haven't been able to find that momentum yet, and that leads to a lack of confidence and a kind of I'm looking for a word. A kind of not timid, a more timid approach to what we had planned on doing. But that's just a confidence thing. I know that we've been saying it from the start. We get a win, we get on a roll. We get a win, we get on a roll. Confidence comes back. But hey, it's time to get that win, and it's time to get on that roll now. Because if we don't, then the competition's gone for us. Then our planning will go into giving some of our players that will be potential front runners for us in the next couple of years opportunities. That's just the way it is. So we need to get on that roll. We need to get on that roll very quick.
Yeah, and just on red ball cricket, the nature of T20 with so many games coming thick and fast, it can very easily turn the feeling of a season from good to bad. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we were walking off the field here at the Central Co-op County Ground, having beaten Kent, sitting second in Division 2 and thinking, what a great season. That wasn't that long ago. It's not that long till we return to red ball cricket, where we are second in the table, we are in the promotion hunt, and there is still an awful lot to play for in that arena as well, and you must be excited, not just to get back into that, but also to ensure that the team stays motivated and this doesn't affect confidence.
Steve, I can tell you 100% categorically the team stays 100% motivated. I can tell you categorically that we work 24/7 to make sure that our structures are as good as any structure in the world, and I'm talking internationally as well. So that goes without saying in terms of our structure that we have at the moment, our cricket structure. We've played very, very good red ball cricket. Yes, we have. We haven't played really good white ball cricket, and ideally, I'd wish that we had done it all. It hasn't been the case, and we've got to go back to the drawing board, and we've got to plan, and we've got to work out what's going to be best for us as a team and how we go forward. What I can say categorically is the bubbling in the background is our red ball players, and they're training hard. They continue working, they're training. There's a second even game at Wheatwood next. That'll see a couple of them in to get them ready for Bristol. Again, the injured players, and I'm talking along with the guys of Anuj Dole, Lewis Rees, Blair Techner, they will all come into the mix there in order to be ready for our red ball resumption in Bristol. Right now, my primary focus is on tomorrow night at Trent Bridge and Saturday at Edgbaston, because we've got to make sure that we on it. We've got to make sure we front up. We've got to make sure we don't feel sorry for ourselves, and we've got to go and be proud and walk out there and represent this very, very good county, represent them with the pride that it deserves. And I have absolutely no doubt, coming off the bus today, there is a very, very resolute squad that want to put this right. We do not want to be in a position we are, but we know we can get on a roll and we still know we can turn this around.